I called this stream Inside the Mind of a Madman for a reason. At least my last few characters in Critical 20 have been very interesting. Of course, you wouldn't have known that unless you checked out my Twitch channel, because I went to Twitch solely for a while, but I'm back on YouTube. But I want to show you all how I come up with an interesting character concept. Let's just put on chapstick. Okay. So the first thing I do is either I get inspiration from a song, which I obviously can't do on a YouTube stream, or I first pick a class. A simple thing, everyone does it, it's almost the first thing everyone does. I have Xanathar's Guide to Everything as well, to give me additional options. So let's scroll down to the content, see what's there. If you have any ideas about what you want me to do for this character, let me know. Who knows, maybe they'll appear at some point. Ideas about... Okay. So, let's see. I recently made a druid, so I'm not going to do druid. I also recently made a ranger. I could do monk. I could do... cleric. You know, I'm gonna do a monk. I haven't done a monk in a long time. And I'm just going to do it at the current level of Josh's campaign, which is level 6. Just in case I end up using this character. Though it's unlikely, I have other characters I'd use first. Unless this character turns out to be absolutely friggin' incredible. Which is, again, unlikely. I am going to put some music on while I do this. Some of the music by Oliver McNeil that I used during D&D. Let's see, let's break music maybe. I could also use this music as well, technically, to give me an idea. But I don't want something too... if you know. I want something calmer. What's this one? Oh, right! I like the sound of this. Go to my little tiara. All right! All pumped up. But usually I listen to music while I'm making these, usually specific songs to help me inspire what I'm going to do with the character, so this music will have an influence on the character. Music is very important. Very important. So we know we want this character to be a monk. First thing I'm going to look at then is which path. What are they called? Type? I forget what they're called for monk. Dang it, it's been way too long since I made a monk. Which subclass of monk? So over here we have Way of the Kensei, Way of... I probably pronounced that wrong. Way of the Sun Soul, Way of the Drunken Master. Oh, I love this song! I have to play this more during D&D! Freaking... You wouldn't think one called Vampire Hunter would be so good! Huge shout out to Oliver McNeil for allowing me to use his music in Critical 20. I got this from one of his Kickstarters. So go check him out on Kickstarter. He's often releasing new musical albums and stuff. Just Go check him out. Great music, great guy. And the other... Oh, traditions, that's they're called, right. So the other ones we have are Way of the Open Hand, Way of the Four Elements, and Way of Shadow. I want to do Way of the Four Elements. I haven't done one of those in probably the longest. Because most people ignore the Way of the Four Elements. They think it's too... What I'm going to do... So I'm going to minimize this. Which, the first one I said was Tiefling, so this landed on heads, which would be Tiefling. So, we'll make a Tiefling monk. Okay. I could just sit here listening to this music all day and absolutely love it. This is the best track. I don't know why I never used this one. Okay. So we know we want to be a Tiefling, we know we want to be of the Four Elements. We're probably going to go standard Tiefling rather than feral. So we know that intelligence will increase by 1, charisma will increase by 2. Mostly I'm not doing feral because that would make me want to have wings, and I feel like this monk wouldn't have wings. Alright. So now we look at the alignment. Most people disregard alignment, thinking it is least important and leave it for last, but it is integral in making your character. This monk seems like someone who would truly care about the balance of nature and the balance of power in the cosmos. So I'm going to make them true neutral. As true neutrals often care the most about balance and power. Next, we'll look at the background. Who was this person? Also male or female, let's see. The music is telling me female. Honestly, if you're playing with music, if you're doing it with music, you've got to listen to the music, listen to what it's telling you. So female Tiefling monk of the Four Elements. Background is the next thing we're going to look at. Before we even fill in any of the character sheet, we're going to look at background. Okay. And let's just think as I flip through the backgrounds. What kind of person is this? They seem like someone who is paying homage to a god. Rather than just someone who's taught themselves Kung Fu. I am going to make them an acolyte. That's what the music is telling me. So we'll just grab the skill proficiencies of Insight and Religion. We'll just write down that we get 2 languages. And as a Tiefling, we already get Common and Infernal. I know that. We'll leave equipment. We'll do equipment based on gold buying. Down here, we'll write out Shelter of the Faithful. So, command the respect of those who share your faith, and you perform the religious ceremonies of your deity. Is that not how you spell deity? Did I really spell it wrong? I did. Okay. Deity, right. I'm still a bit sick. You and your adventuring companions can expect to receive free healing. Healing and care at a temple, shrine, or other established. Oh, you're welcome. The stream. Ah, looks like the stream is still going. Okay, good. So, I'm going to leave off. Wait, no. There's one more thing I need to do for this. Those who share your faith or religion will support you, but only you, at a modest lifestyle. I'm going to leave off the other half about having residence at a specific temple, things like that. Mostly because I just don't want to type it all up right now. Alright. So, let's look at personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws, see if we want any of them. We're gonna go with the aspiration ideal. I seek to prove myself worthy of my God's favor by matching Okay, let's look at bonds. See, this bond could be interesting. I will someday get revenge on the corrupt temple hierarchy who branded me a heretic. That could make for an interesting backstory and interesting, in-game character building and, side quest. I'm going to do that one. So at the moment, this seems like a pretty normal character, because we haven't added the interesting spices in yet. But let's look at flaws. I'm going to do flaw number 1. I judge others harshly, and myself even more severely. Because the first impression would be of this character would be they might be a little bit stuck up. They're telling you everything you've done wrong, but little do you know they're silently berating themselves and telling themselves everything they're doing wrong, even more than that they're doing of you. But the reason they're doing that is because they're comparing themselves to the teachings of their God, and they do not believe they are worthy. They want to show that they are worthy, so that they can oust the temple hierarchy who branded them a heretic, and reclaim favor in the eyes of their religion. See, you've already got a reasonable backstory right there. Just stuck in it together. Let's look at personality traits. Let's see if we want any of these. So I'm leaning towards either 3 or 8. 3 being, I see omens in every event and action. The gods try to speak to us, we just need to listen. 8 being, I've spent so long in the temple that I've little practical experience dealing with the people in the outside world. The music is telling me more towards 3. So, now we've got all the background stuff taken care of, which really should be done before you fill out any of the rest of the character sheet, other than this top bit here. And a name will come in time. So now let's go back to Tiefling. So, as we're playing a 6th level character, we're going to come down here to spellcasting. Yeah, spellcasting. Let's see. So, being a Tiefling, we know the Thaumaturgy cantrip, as well as being able to cast Hellish Resistance. No, that's not what it's called. Hellish Rebuke. Hellish Resistance is one of the other things. Hellish Rebuke once per long rest. And Darkness once per long rest. It is Darkness, right? I'm not going crazy? Yep. And I don't like the way around those are just because Hellish Rebuke is longer, so I'm just going to switch them around. Alright. Great, now I don't like it that it's the other way around. Ah, gosh dang it. I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay. So, now we're going to roll up the stats. We need to know a little bit more about this character before we can go on. Oh, my dice are all the way over there. One moment, I have to actually go and grab my dice. Alright, all of my beautiful dice. Okay, we're going to do the classic... Sorry, that was loud. We're going to do the classic deal with the devil. The way we're going to do it, as there's only one person though, is I'm going to roll the stat, and if I don't like it, I'll re-roll, but if I do, I have to take the second roll. So on the first roll, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. That's pretty good, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with 14. That time I only got 9, so I'm going to try re-rolling it. That's 13. Significantly better than 9. 9, so I'm going to re-roll it. That is not ideal. That's actually really bad. Really bad. Ugh. I should have just kept the 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Keep the 12. I'm not rolling too well, so I don't want to... If I was rolling really well, I would re-roll the 12. 11, I'm going to try re-rolling the 11. Ah, I lost one. I usually roll really well. 7, 9. That was 12, I'm going to try re-rolling it. 11. So be it. So, we've got really, really bad stats. And we need wisdom and dexterity. So, we're going to put 14 in wisdom, that being our highest score. Wait. Yeah, and we'll put 13 in dex. Just remember, we're making a level 6 character. We'll put 12 into charisma, boosting that to 14. Actually, we'll put 10 in charisma, boosting that to 12. We'll put 12 in constitution. Wait. Oh, intelligence is at a +1. I'm going to make intelligence 12 and strength 5. Strength is not important for monks. Alright. Turn down the music slightly. So we have our main stats. Let's just fill in the modifiers. Twelve, 13. That's a -3. But we do have an ability score improvement as we're making a 6th level character. Instead of spending that on a feat or anything else, I am going to spend that on ability score improvement, because we desperately need it. I'll increase my dexterity to 14, boosting that to 2. And the only other good thing to increase right now is my strength, which will boost that to a -2. Which is actually a lot better. Even though it's only one difference, it's a lot better. So now that we've done that, we're gonna finish off putting down our tiefling traits. So speed of 30 feet. If you've been playing D&D for as long as I have, that's all you need to put. Or even 60 feet. But I just prefer to write it out. Then we have hellish resistance due to being a tiefling. Resistance to fire damage. I usually like writing out U because it makes me feel better about my life. That's how we get from being a tiefling. So we could look at the female names and see if we like any of those. Based on this character, if they follow a good god, we would want to use one of the virtue names. Which I feel like they would. I feel like they'd be trying to redeem themselves from the actions of their ancestors. So let's look at the virtue names. What's temerity? What does that word mean? Google, where are you? Temerity definition. Excessive confidence or boldness. Audacity. That doesn't seem quite right for this character. Maybe it does. Maybe it does fit. We're gonna go with temerity. And it's not such like an obvious name like Hope or Quest that people won't question a name like temerity. Because most people, I feel like, wouldn't realize that's an English word. Like I did. Okay. Okay. Now we need to go back to monk. There we go. Lemon-opie. So one of the important things for monks is key points. So max is 6. Current. That's too far over. So max is 6. Current is whatever. Let's see. The monks have saving throws of strength and dexterity. Thank goodness proficiency in strength saves. And then we choose 2 skills from a very short list, so it shouldn't be too hard. Let's see. We're gonna go with... We already have insight and religion. We only have 4 to choose from. So we're gonna go for acrobatics. Which means our other one can be either athletics, history, or stealth. Go for athletics just to even out that score. Proficiency bonus of 3. We're going to ignore the starting equipment. So unarmored defense makes our armor class 14. Let's see. Unarmored defense. Did I spell that wrong again? AC is equal to 10 Dex mod plus Wiz mod. Wiz mod. Makes sense. Okay. We also need to write down what martial arts does. You can use dexterity instead of strength for unarmed strikes and monk weapons. Dexterity. Also, I forgot to do the proficiencies. Tools, 1 type of artisan's tools, or 1 musical instrument. We are going to give this lovely tiefling woman proficiency in the flute, because I like flutes. And leave it uncapitalized. As well as simple weapons. As well as simple weapons and short swords. Sorry, I really had to yell there. Okay. You roll d4 in place of the normal damage for your unarmed strike or monk weapon. Wait, does it replace monk weapon damage with? Huh. It does. It changes monk weapon damage. Wow. This die changes. I'm not even going to write that down. Let's just look at what it is currently at 6th level. 1d6. You roll a d6. Let's see. When you use the attack action with an unarmed strike or monk weapon on your turn, you can make 1 unarmed strike as a bonus action. I'm not even gonna put assuming you haven't taken a bonus action this turn, because that should be obvious. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do monk, spellcasting ability, 2, 5, 13. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna write key. So, darkness does not require a saving throw nor an attack roll, so that doesn't matter. Hellish Rebuke, however, requires a saving throw, and it is charisma based. Save DC 12. We're just going to mark that down because that is specifically a charisma based spell, where the rest of these are wisdom. Alright. So we're just going to put there, that's how many key points. So because we're doing it there, we don't actually need all of this here. So we're going to do Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense. Gosh dang, did I spell defense wrong again? Not taking out the fence. And Step of the Wind. For a standard monk, what I'd usually do, just due to the amount of sheer space it takes, is I would write all their key abilities down on a separate piece of paper and print it for them. Just so they can actually read what's on their character sheet, and it's not all so small they can't see anything. So, unarmored movement. At 6th level. Let's see. While you are not wearing armor or wielding a shield, your movement your speed increases by 15 feet, and that also changes over time. So speed is now 45, which is better than anyone else, really. Alright, we've already done the ability score improvement. We need the deflect missiles. And since deflect missiles is not strictly a key ability, I'll write it down. So, when you are hit by a ranged weapon attack, you can use your reaction. I worded that wrong. You can use your reaction to deflect or catch a missile when you are hit with a ranged weapon attack. When you are hit by a ranged weapon attack. Fine. I'll write it down the way you say it, Buck. When you do so, the damage is reduced by 1d10 plus 8, that being dexterity modifier plus level. 1d10, 8. If you reduce the damage to 0, you can catch the missile if it is small enough to hold in one hand, and if you have a hand free. if you have a hand free. If you catch the missile in this way, you can spend 1 key point to make a ranged attack with it as part of the same reaction. Sorry, this deflect missiles is kind of a long thing. You are considered proficient with it. And the missile counts as a monk weapon for the attack. The range of the attack is 2060. So, deflect missiles is kind of a long thing, but we got through it. Next thing is slow fall. You can use your reaction when you fall to reduce any falling damage you take by 30. 5 times the monk level. Doing the math already. Also, extra attack. You can attack twice instead of once when you take the attack action on your turn. Oh my goodness, there's so much stuff. I forgot how much stuff monks get. Stunning strike. When you hit another creature with a melee weapon attack, you can spend 1 key point. Actually, stunning strike is a key ability. So we are actually going to list it as such. So, the reason those are all under spell level 1 is because they only cost 1 key point. Simple enough? Simple enough. Good. Okay. But there is one more thing we need to put down, which is key-empowered strikes. Your unarmed strikes count as magical for purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage. That is all of the base monk abilities that are given, but now we have to look at the tradition we chose, which is Way of the Four Elements. You learn 1 additional. Okay. The Elemental Attunement discipline. What is Elemental Attunement? The Elemental Attunement discipline. Oh, there it is. Elemental Attunement is not particularly interesting. but I can see it being useful in a variety of things. So we'll leave the elemental attunement there, and we're actually going to put thaumaturgy down here, and elemental attunement up here. As we are now directly in the way of the 4 elements, I'm just going to be writing everything down here. So we get to pick 2 more. Fangs of the Fire Snake is always an interesting one, because it only costs 1 key point, gives you 10 extra feet of range, and does extra fire damage if you spend more key. Fist of Unbroken Air is also pretty powerful. Let's see, what else can we do? Gongs of the Summit, Rush of the Gale Spirits, Shape the Flowing River, Sweeping Cinder Strike, Water Whip. Let's see. We're going to give this particular person Water Whip. And I think Fangs of the Fire Snake. So those are their elemental disciplines. That is actually everything for the monk, for the tiefling, for the acolyte. Let's just fill in a few things here real quick. Wait, no, it's 2, it's not 3. Okay, and then Constitution will be 1, Intelligence is 1 or 4. Let's start filling that in. I rolled pretty bad stats for this person, I'll admit. Usually roll a lot better. So Wisdom is base 2, so 2 or 5. So Past Perception of 12. Charisma is 1, so 1 or 4. 1's all the way down. Low stats, but not too bad. Okay. Also, what is the hit dice of the monk? How did I skip over that? Let's see. Monk's hit dice are a 1d8. Okay, so we have 6d8 in terms of hit dice. We have 8 plus 6, 14 base, and then we're going to roll 5d8s. We're just going to roll 4 and then 1. And if they're equal to Constitution, we can re-roll them. 17, 12, 13. At least that's the home rule I go with. So 32. Not the best for a 6th level monk, being that the Constitution is only 1. Okay. We are also going to put down here martial arts. Attack bonus of 5. Damage type 1d6, bludgeoning. 1d6 plus 2. Okay. We're almost done. I promise. I know it's been a while, but we're almost done. 48 minutes, good glory. To make an interesting character, it takes a while. So we're going to pull up Xanathar's Guide to Everything again. And we're going to go to page 61. So this is your life. We're going to roll up a background for this poor person. Let's see. 100. Okay. See if they knew their parents. Let me just clear off a little bit of space in my dice tray. 45. New parents. As a tiefling, we roll a d8. 3. Both humans with dormant infernal heritage. Okay. Birthplace is up here. Just gonna roll that up. 44. Born at home. Isn't it big right if like a monastery or whatever? Isn't there one that's like that? I don't see one. Temple. 55 to 75 to 77. I'm just going based off what I roll for this. So D10 for siblings. 9. Oh my goodness. Okay, 5 siblings. Okay, not too bad. It's a lot of siblings, a lot more than I expected. I expected this character to be an only child. 5 for family. Orphanage. I'm gonna bump that to temple. Just to fit the character better. Okay, since we were raised in temple, we have to see what happened to our parents. Mother disappeared to an unknown fate. Father abandoned me. Father abandoned you. Let's see. Okay, now we're gonna roll off the family lifestyle real quick. Okay, pretty good. 14, so comfortable. Comfortable lifestyle in the temple. Then let's roll off this. I'm gonna roll that again because that was a 4. So small house. It was a small temple. There was only a few monks. Small temple. Okay. Then childhood memories. 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. That's pretty good. Several friends. Happy childhood. I'm switching that to no siblings. It fits this character better. So acolyte. Oh, I feel like number 3. Actually, no, number 2, because if my mother disappeared to an unknown fate and then my father gave me to a temple... Since he was unwilling to care for me. He didn't like me because I was a demon. That was his fault. Okay, and then we'll roll down to monk. There it is, D6. I was wild and undisciplined as a youngster. Let's see. Let's see. I was chosen to study at a secluded monastery, sure. They sent me off to a monastery. There I was taught monastery. There I was taught the I can't spell right now. Fundamental techniques. That is not correct. Cannot spell right now. Techniques. There I was taught the fundamental techniques required to eventually master a tradition. I spelled that right. Okay, good. So now we gotta decide how old we are. For that, we will consult the player's handbook. Roll. Here we go, the random height and weight table. Being a tiefling, we're going to roll 2d8s. 6 and 7. So 13. So 5'10". So reasonably tall. And weight, I rolled 13, so I multiplied that by 2d4s. 3. So an extra 39 pounds. So 149 pounds. We're gonna make her skin red in proper demon fashion. With black hair. I feel like these shouldn't be capitalized, even though I usually do capitalize them. And black eyes. She'll still be pretty young, we'll say 23. Let's see. So now that we know that she's 23 years old, we're going to roll for life events. After that, I roll a 1d4. 38. So yep, it's the same. So we're going to roll a d4. 4 life events. Easy enough to do. And then we're going to come over here to Xanathar's Guide to Everything again. And roll off the life events table. 80. Adventure. Probably sent on one by the monastery. Ah! Where's my die? Need that. 13. Boon. Okay, so far we're looking good. No lost fingers or toes. 83. Supernatural experience. That could be loss of fingers and toes. 81. Okay. I believe the first one is adventures. So we're just gonna roll off that table. 81. Treasure. How much treasure do we have left? 11 gold pieces. That's pretty good. Now we roll off the boon table with our d10. Almer owes you a life debt. You a life debt. Now we have to find the supernatural events table. Ah, here it is. The supernatural events table is the funnest one. 48. You escape certain death. Certain death. I believe it was by a god's intervention. That was probably during the adventure. Supernatural events, one more. Oh no. Oh no, please no. 4. You were ensorcelled by a fae, or enslaved for 1d6 years before you could escape. Ensorcelled by a fae, enslaved for 2 years. Happened at end of adventure. Everyone thinks you are dead. As you have just returned. Of course it was that one. It's not bad. 86 to 90 would have been great. But whatever. So we're gonna add our 11 GP in there. We need to roll off of gold table. About 2 pages back from where I opened to. For monk, it is simply 5d4 gold. It is incredibly low. 10 gold. 21 gold is all we start with. Monks don't need armor. We are going to buy a robe. What does a backpack cost? 2 gold for a backpack. So what we're going to do is we're going to give ourselves a backpack with a spare robe. Can I even afford a priest's pack? Cannot, but I might just give it to her anyway. Just like literally just a priest's pack. Oh, a priest's pack comes with a backpack, so I can literally just barely afford it. I'm just gonna write down everything that's in the priest pack. Blanket. 10 candles for dark sacrifices. A tinderbox. An alms box. 2 blocks of incense. What's a block of incense? A censer for with which to burn the incense. Vestments. Two days of rations. And a water skin. Literally all she has is a robe and all of that. And that's all she can afford. So that's all she gets. Alright, so we know about this character. We know they were branded a heretic and they want revenge. It could be that they didn't find out they were branded a heretic until they were on their adventure, but then they got ensorcelled by the Fae and taken away for a few years. So now everyone believes they're dead, but they still want revenge on the corrupt temple hierarchy that branded them a heretic. So this character seems at least reasonably interesting. Yeah. I would say this character is complete and fairly interesting. File, save as. I'm gonna go with desktop. String created character. Level 6. And we can always take this and turn it into a proper backstory. But that is what we were here for. So, I will see you all next time. Have a good day, and as always, Kalu im Velar, or walk with power.